we use a specific approach to coaching, and we feel that for people living in Africa, it can really provide such a rich experience for them. Um, how do you feel about our approach and our methodology that we use?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for that. I mean, look, if you're a human being, we think that our strength-based approach will work. But I think particularly in Africa, I think for a long time, we haven't recognized or been able to recognize the talent that we do have. If we stopped exporting talent across the world and we kept them on the African continent, I think we could be not only a leading continent, but one that would set the benchmark and the standard around skills and competence. And so our departure point is that every single person is unique in their own right, and we recognize that. And I think for too long, we haven't recognized that across the African piece. The second thing with uniqueness is that everybody has potential and has the ability to contribute if they know what their talents are. Because if you know what your talents are, you can develop that, you can turn up the volume, and if you use them intentionally, you can do great things. So rather than leaving this to chance or intuition, we think a strength-based process does everything I mentioned. It recognizes uniqueness. It validates and identifies potential. It helps you to claim that potential. It helps you to develop that potential. And then finally, it helps you to aim. It gives you practical ways of being able to try and set and achieve your life, business, and other objectives. And from that point of view, because it is recognition-based, develop positive development, and gives you the tools to impact, this is why we support a strength-based approach.
Yendor, how important do you think the strengths-based approach is post-pandemic?
It's now even more important. Let's think a little bit about it. During the pandemic, the world as we know it has changed. We're exiting lockdown in many countries. We're now experiencing what they call the new normal. So when everything else changes around you, what you need to do is be able to be self-reliant on what you can bring to the table. So if you know what your talents and strengths are, you can look at the new world and see opportunity, rather than negative or deficit or constraint or, there is no future for me. And that's because you're matching what you can bring to the party with what's the world out there, rather than responding or reacting to the world without thinking that stuff through. So from a strength point of view, we think it's mission critical, both for individuals, but also for those leaders and managers that are dealing with teams in the new normal. So we're talking about new ways of thinking about leadership, the new ways of performing for individuals and developing individuals, and then mission critically, how do we engage and ensure that our teams perform optimally when we are still exiting or sort of entering this new normal where the rules are not certain. All of those, I think, would be very congruent with a strength-based coaching approach.
Yendor, we get a lot of people that do the Clifton Strengths assessment. They get their results, they read their report, and then they put the report in file 9. And when you said the word mapping your strengths to what the world is currently like, that's so important. And I sense that it would be very difficult for me, even though I am a coach, to map my strengths to the current world. It's something that you need someone else to help you to reflect on. Isn't that why coaching is then so important?
Yeah, Bakrit, I think that's absolutely right. I think very few of us can navigate our entire lives without some input or guidance from other people. If the world's greatest sports people need coaches and they keep their coach around, even though they are multiple world champions or have, reached the pinnacle, in order to stay to the pinnacle of their performance, they retain their coaches. And we think that every individual would benefit from that input from a certified Gallup coach, where they could get input, get guidance, and so on. And the reality of this is quite simple. Very few of us know ourselves perfectly. We all have blind spots. We all struggle with trying to think through about what success looks like, and so our view is, why do this by yourself when by simply connecting with a coach who is skilled and there to help you, you can get those great insights, you can develop your strengths, you can leapfrog your journey that you're on, rather than stumbling from one pothole to another and doing it the hard way. Why would you not want a coach? Would be the answer to that.